guys, welcome to Happywax TV. So I'm going to do two quick reviews tonight. I watched these movies a while ago, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't really care for either of them. I mean, they were okay, but they weren't fantastic. But I've had a few of you ask me if I could talk about them, so I'm going to try and keep both short and give you my quick opinion. But first up is Ghosts of War, and then we're going to talk quickly about the movie Shifter. Ghosts of War is basically 5 American soldiers assigned to hold a French chateau near the end of World War II. This quickly descends into madness when they encounter a supernatural enemy more terrifying than anything seen on the battlefield. Well, okay, this movie is like eating really good nachos, and then you have more food coming. Okay, that's what I'm going to compare it to. The first act of this movie is fucking fantastic. The cinematography is fucking great. The war scenes are really cool. We're introduced to these characters. We get some background. It's a war movie. It is. It's a war movie. And when they hold up in this chateau, this French chateau that they have to take over from the squad that was in there before them, that are obviously rattled about something. But again, in most, like in all other movies, we don't find out why, and they won't tell these guys coming in. But even the battle scene when the Nazis show up is really well done. So the first act of this movie is great. Just like a nice plate of nachos, okay? They're delicious. You really enjoy them. You can't fucking wait to eat them. So you start in on these nachos, okay? And about 15, 20 minutes later, you're getting full, okay? You're drinking your drinks, like your pop or whatever, and you're starting to get weighed down and bogged down, and you're like, oh, these fucking nachos, they're not so good looking anymore. And that's the second act of this movie, because there's so much stuff that they try and cram into the second act of the movie. It just bogs it down. Like, you honestly don't even care what happens in the third act. Like, I did like the third act of this movie because I didn't see it coming, first of all. It was just out of nowhere, and I thought, what a great fucking idea. But you're so full from eating all those nachos and drinking all that pop, at the restaurant, that you don't care about the delicious main course that is now coming, which is the third act, because you're already full and bogged down and you don't really want anymore. And that's what happens with this movie. It starts out really good, great idea, cool cinematography, great acting. Second act is just so muddled and boring, and it's just cliche after cliche and jump scare, and it's like, come on, guys, you were so on point in the first act. And then when the third act comes, this surprise third act that actually got me, it's like, it's awesome, but I kind of didn't give a fuck, you know what I mean? Because I was so fucking disappointed by the second act. It does help bring the movie along, but I don't know, man. After you're stuffed full of delicious nachos, do you really want the main course when it comes, or are you going to ask for a takeout box and take it home? So to give this movie a rating, I would probably give it maybe a 5.5. So much potential. Acting was great, but that second act it's just, man, oh man. It's like trying to walk through fucking quicksand, man. Like you just, it's hard to get through. It really is. And great idea in the third act, something different, something a little new, good idea, but that second act, man, just wore me out. So anyways, that's Ghosts of War. And then Shifter, man, oh man, I had a few of you ask me about this movie. I think it was more so because my subscribers who asked me about it, I don't know if they didn't like this movie and they wanted my opinion on it. Listen, this is a ultra low budget horror movie. It's not even a horror movie. It's more of a sci-fi movie, okay? Synopsis: a young woman experiences painful and gruesome side effects after an experiment with time travel goes wrong. Okay, there's nothing new here. In fact, this is almost, dare I say, a ripoff of The Fly. Okay, because they've got this, she goes through this, I don't even explain this. There's a lot that you have to fucking accept in this movie, okay? And what makes it even worse is it's like mega low budget, okay? And not only that, the lead character, Nicole Fancher, I've never seen her in anything, okay? And I mean, she is a good actress, but this character that she has to portray is, and I don't know if this is just her acting or if she has to portray this character way, but it's very uncomfortable watching her scenes, and it's almost to the point of annoying, this character, and it's so fucking annoying that it takes you right out of the movie. So not only do you have to deal with that, but then you have to deal with all this nonsense about time travel and this makeshift fucking barrel thing that she's made that we're actually supposed to believe you can travel through time. Like, it just, lack of budget is definitely what hurt this movie. Like, there's kind of a cool story in there, but it's just, some of the acting is cringeworthy and very uncomfortable to watch. And then all this stuff we're supposed to accept, and we never really dive into the whole theory behind the time travel. Like, we're given little snippets, but I wanted more. You know what I mean? If you want us to believe that you've created some time traveling mechanism, out of a fucking barrel with an alarm clock attached to it and some tubes coming out of it, then you better do your fucking homework and give us, a little more theory behind this thing. But when I was getting back to The Fly, is when he goes into his portal, where his pod, where he goes from one to the other, a fly gets in there, and then he slowly starts to turn into the fly, right? He falls apart and blah, blah, blah. Same thing happens to her. The more she time travels back and forth, it starts to catch up with her, and she starts to, I don't know if you'd call it decomposing, but her body starts to, like, decay, basically, okay? The practical effects of her decaying are pretty cool. I mean, for a micro-budget movie, okay? But the CGI is fucking terrible. It really is. And it's, I don't know, man, like, it just, there's so much that detracts from this movie. I don't know. It's just, the budget wasn't there. It's just a shame. I wish it would have had more budget, because I think they would, obviously, not because, but I mean, or with more budget, you're able to do more with it. And it's painfully obvious that they tried to be much larger and grander than the budget would allow. And unfortunately, it really hurt this movie, at least for me anyways. And I mean, it's really not getting that good of reviews, to be honest. So, but I don't know, man, just this character was so awkward and fucking uncomfortable to watch. And if that's what they were going for, well, I mean, okay, good on them, because that's what they achieved, but I didn't want to fucking see it. And it's apparently obvious nobody else did either, because everybody's kind of slagging on this movie. I didn't hate this movie. You know what I mean? I like these time traveling movies, but I don't know, man. You needed more background, and unfortunately, a small budget really hurt this style of movie. So I don't know. It was kind of cool, but at the end of the day, yeah, it wasn't. Like I say with all the movies, watch them, and give me your opinion. Actually, if you've seen this movie, Shifter, well, even with the other one, Ghosts of War, let me know on both of them if you've seen them. I'm curious to see if you guys thought what I did with Ghosts of War and my comparison to some delicious nachos. You know what I mean? And then this movie, definitely having the budget affect it, and also the main character, with how awkwardly uncomfortable that main character was mind-boggling, actually. So anyways, okay, there's my first double review. Sorry I couldn't get more in depth, but I only got so much time. So Ghosts of War and Shifter, they're both out now, so go rent them if you haven't already, and then come back and let me know what you thought of them, guys. And yeah, keep them coming. If you want me to talk about stuff, just shoot me a message or leave me a message on here, whatever, and I'll see it. Or you can jump over to Facebook, Happywax TV. All the links are in the description, or you can message me on Instagram. It's all in there. So if you have a movie that you've seen or you're unsure of and you want me to check it out first, just shoot me a message and I'll do my best to give it a watch. Again, I don't have a ton of time right now. As we get into fall and winter, I'll have more time. But yeah, anyways, shoot me a message and say hi and let me know if there's something you want me to watch. And yeah, as always, stay scared.